I was doing like some dirty marketing.
Do you regret it?
Absolutely not.
Do you think that there's a big misconception about Black women tax preparers in 2025?
I was taking my focus off of me, my business, and my clientele by trying to keep up. I had a grief day. One small thing triggered me, and all I could just think of was like, my person is gone from this earth. We are the strong Black woman. Boom, that's who we are. That is not who we are.
Yeah.
That's not who I am.
When was the last time you cried? What makes a guy instantly unattractive?
Oh, like
Hey, ladies. Welcome back to another episode of Conquer Conversations. Shout out to episode 8. Welcome to episode 8. And as you can tell, friend, I have a guest here with me today because I know you're tired of me rambling by myself in this thing. So we have Ashley Rogers here with me in my house doing an episode of the podcast. So today you'll get a little bit of girl talk. We get a chance to learn about Ashley, what type of business she has, how she started her business, what she's conquered. And of course, we'll get a little tea on her outside of her business too. So, hey, friend.
hey.
Ashley is here in my house, y'all, recording this episode. So I'm excited about today. Ashley has been in the Conquer Club and part of the Conquer community. So introduce yourself to everybody.
So I'm Ashley. I am the owner of AR Financial Solutions. We actually specialize in tax preparation, tax planning. We dabble in a little bit of bookkeeping, but then also too, there's what I'll say a little caveat to that, where we partner with other women to empower them, encourage them when it comes to their finances.
Perfect. I love it. Okay, so cheers to you, girl. Drink. Actually, drinking water. So, yes. Cheers to you, friend. Yeah.
It's on the other side.
Yeah. Yes. So, I want to dive into a couple of different topics today because it's tax season. There are a lot of women entrepreneurs popping up. And let me ask you this. Do you think that there's a big misconception about Black women tax preparers in 2025?
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me what you think.
Because I feel like that's the tax industry definitely is a space that is now dominated by Black women. And I feel like as you get into the industry and you're in the what we call the tax streets, it can get messy and it can get very, very selfish. And so being in the space and seeing these things, sometimes it's just disheartening because as Black women coming together, we're a force, but oftentimes we do let things divide us. And whether that be drama, whether that be finances, all of those things. So yes, there's a huge, I think, stigma that, the tax industry in as far as in the Black community is just very messy, very chaotic, drama filled. But on the positive side, I have encountered some of the most, oh my gosh, like when I tell you Black women know their stuff, they know their stuff. They're educated. When you're showing up to an IRS forum, when you're showing up to classes and courses, it's nothing but Black women there, getting the knowledge, getting the education, and moving forward. And one thing that I love about our community is can't nobody tell us nothing. Can't nobody tell us nothing. You said, you said I learned this and I can't go do this. Let me go do that times 3. And so I love it. I really do. I feel like, unfortunately, we do get a bad rap, but I do feel like when you're in the industry and you actually get down to the nitty gritty, you really see that it's a space where Black women can pop their stuff. They can, definitely be who they want to be. And then they got the money behind it. The tax industry is it's slated this year to be I think it's $13.8 billion industry.
Not surprising. For real,
13.8 billion.
Yeah.
The majority of that is Black women. Yes, there is other, it's diverse, but the majority is Black women.
Yeah.
So we got it on lock. You can't tell us nothing about no taxes.
I know I see a lot of people just saying stuff like, oh, everybody doing taxes,
Mhm.
everybody doing taxes. And I can feel that. But I also know women like you.
Mhm.
I know women like Sierra.
Mhm.
I know other women who do it and they do it professionally and do it good.
Mhm.
So how do you like combat that narrative around, okay, well, all y'all do taxes, all of y'all scamming? Like, how do you combat that or like stay above that narrative?
Well, you don't. You don't combat it because I'm me and the scammer is the scammer. And,
Right.
I will say that in the beginning, I definitely tried. I was like, how am I going to keep up? Because this person is doing this and there. But then I realized I was taking my focus off of me, my business, and my clientele by trying to keep up. So the
Mhm.
biggest thing in the tax industry is you run your own race because everyone has something different to offer. My client experience is going to be way different than somebody, let's say in Memphis. Their experience is probably going to be different than mine. So location
It's gonna
matters.
get-
Listen, location matters. Who you are matters. Your background matters. All of that matters. And it doesn't devalue the next because somebody who may be perceived as a scammer because of how they market, you get to know them and you're like, wait a minute, they're not doing nothing illegal.
Mhm.
Like, it's just the way that they market. A big thing in the tax industry is marketing. You can definitely pull in clients by looking scamish, and that works for some people. But when it all narrows down, a lot of times most people they're really not committing any type of fraud or anything. It's just the way it looks marketing wise.
That's good.
Mhm. But no, to me, you don't try to keep up. You just run your own race. You do your own thing. Your flow is your flow. What works for you. My client experience is not going to be like the next.
Yeah.
And that's what I pride myself on because I put a little twist in there.
Yeah.
So,
I like that. Okay. So tell us a little bit about who you are outside of business. Who is Ashley?
Ooh. Well, so outside of business, I am a wife. I've been married for this year will be 7 years. I had to think about it. 7 years. I am with my high school sweetheart. So we have been, this year will be 21 years that I've been loving that man, my man, my man, my man. Um, but I'm a wife, I'm a mom. I have 2 children, a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. And so outside of business, it's so crazy because my business is my passion. But at the same time, I'm so in love with my children. I'm so in love with my husband that's a really big part of who I am. And so I pride myself on being the mom that can do it all, the wife that can do it all. And I say do it all, but with the balance, with the balance. And so I definitely incorporate my husband and kids into my business. And then when it's just me, when I say just me, when they're off to their spaces, I'm a complete nerd, and a lot of people do not know that about me. They always think you're so social, which I am, but I'm definitely a complete nerd. I love to be somewhere quiet. I love to be somewhere with a book. I'm also a very big conspiracy theorist. So
what's the wildest conspiracy theory you believe in?
Ain't nothing wild to me.
What you think?
But I just truly like, oh man, it's bad.
What is it?
I really, really believe like a lot of the stuff that we see, like when it comes to media and stuff, I really believe a lot of the stuff people deem as crazy is true. I definitely don't believe that the earth is round. I definitely believe it is flat.
You're a flat earther?
I am a flat earther. I believe there's something on the other side of Antarctica, like as far as the ice walls. Oh man.
You think we went to the moon?
Absolutely not. I don't think we went to the moon. I truly believe in aliens. I'm not going to look for them or nothing, but now that has a lot to do with my faith. And the reason why I say that is because I know what God has done in my life. So you can't tell me that he didn't create other things far more like powerful or so I feel like when we discredit a lot of those big things, I feel like we kind of be like, no, God can't do that. Oh yes, he can. So I believe in all kinds of stuff, but I keep a peace of mind knowing that it's not meant for me to like go down the rabbit hole and drive myself nuts. no, that's stuff that maybe I'll find out later or whatever. But yeah, I'm definitely a big conspiracy theorist. So when they release like documents, like when they declassify documents, now this is political, but don't get me. So one of the big things that Trump is doing, which I don't like a lot, I don't like the majority of the stuff he's doing, but that's a whole nother podcast. But one of the things that he is doing is declassifying like records from like FBI records, CIA records from John F. Kennedy, from Martin Luther King. I'm so for it. Like waiting. Like I'm ready to read that.
You want to see it?
Oh, I want to see it. Because in my mind, I don't watch enough like Law and Order SVU. I can piece it all together. I don't watch enough Scandal. So that's another thing too. I'm a big binge watcher of like TV shows. So love me something with crime, love like medical shows and stuff like that.
Do you like true crime?
Love true crime.
I love true crime.
Love true crime. I actually watch a couple podcasts.
Oh, which one?
There's the one with the lady with the makeup. She like
Murder Mystery.
Yes.
Okay.
And she does her makeup and she tells like, you know, the stories or whatever. I'm really, really big into that. So yeah, outside of all of those things, I'm definitely a nerd. I love just information. I'm getting better with what I'll say, like getting outside. I jumped off the porch very early. I was clubbing at 14. Mama don't get me, but I was clubbing at 14. So, you know, I was doing a lot very young because of my upbringing. And so for me, like by the time I hit, you know, 22, I was tired. Like, so, but I'm doing better with getting back outside and being, I'll say, more social and stuff. So
got it. Okay. What do you think is the biggest misconception about when women hear that you have a business, have a husband, have a kid, you seem to be balancing it all? What do you think is the big misconception that women have about that?
I think one of the biggest ones that I've been dealing with now is that my husband doesn't take care of me. And that really bothers me because people more so look at my husband a certain type of way because I don't even want to use the word independent. They think, well, she's got all this going. What is he doing? And it's like, hold on, pump your brakes, you know, because this is my husband and he's taking care of me still. I have my own business. I still work a 9 to 5. I have kids, but I'm still that man's wife. And so I heavily depend on my husband. And so that's like one of the big ones that I kind of been battling here, especially here lately, because people kind of bring it up and then, you know, your mind gets to wonder, like, people really think a certain type of way. What do they think? So a lot of times I feel like just what I've encountered is like, well, if a woman is independent and married, then her husband must not be doing what he's supposed to be doing as a husband. And me and my husband actually talk about it. We talk about it often. We have a very non-traditional marriage. You know, traditionally, the husband works. The wife is like a stay-at-home mom. She might have a little side hustle. And that works for some people. For me and him, he's my partner. And we are giving it 100%. Not even because of the finances, but I want my husband to have his own individuality outside of being a husband and a father. And he wants that for me. Because I'm no good to anybody if I can't do nothing for me. So that's like one of the big misconceptions lately that has come. But another thing is that people always assume that we're burnt out. Like, that's a lot. You got a lot going on and you must be burnt out. Or the girl, I couldn't do it. That's so much. When in reality, if you truly plan and you truly sit down and you truly talk about it, it can be done. You know, I balance it very well, but not all the time. Some days I'm losing my ish. You know, some days I can't balance it, but I start over the next day. So I truly think that's a big one. It's like people think we're automatically burnt out. No, we're not. We just, you know, we just handle things differently. So.
That's good. I think that, like, for me, I don't have children yet, but I'm married too. And that's a space that, like, do you talk about your marriage to your audience and community?
I do a little bit.
Okay.
That has been, I think you talked about this before, that has been a challenge of mine
Yeah.
because I was married before and I was
Yeah.
a single mom before.
Right.
So my audience, I cater to single mothers.
Mhm.
And so sometimes I struggle talking about my marriage because I'm like, I know what it's like to be a single mama and I'm trying to meet my audience where they're at. So I'll say, I don't deny that I'm married, but I do talk about it more in I'll say my audience responds in a way that they're like, I cannot wait. Like, I cannot wait because I know love is going to find me. I know companionship, I know partnership is going to find me. I see your story. So that part alone still makes my heart smile.
Mhm.
But a lot of times with my audience, while I talk about marriage, I like to talk to them about getting themselves together first
Mhm.
because I am the epitome of not having it together before I jumped into another marriage. And that's just being raw and real. So now it's like, I can't go back and change it. But if I can have a blueprint for the next woman who's, possibly going to be there, I want to help her out.
Right.
I don't want her to suffer. I don't want her to stress. I want to take that stuff off of her. So, I do talk to them about it, probably not as much as I should. And I think that too has a lot to do with because I'm very selfish about my space.
Same.
And I love that for me. Like, yeah, that's my husband and them my kids. But no, y'all, we doing this. So I'm kind of selfish about bringing them into that space.
I feel the same way.
I like that being my passion, my space. I'm married. I got the kids. But, we on the podcast, can't say what I want to say. But forget them for a little bit.
FTK.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's like that's my safe space that I have away from media and community and being a leader and being a mentor and being all of these labels that people put on me. But my husband walked through the door, it's just us. We goofing off, we talking, we watching Netflix. And I just want to keep that my safe space. But I also know, like you said, if a woman's thinking about entering that era of her life, the things that I wish people said to me or the wisdom that I did get from other women that saved my life or saved my marriage at least.
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you start your business though?
So it's crazy because I didn't start out. I started out in Texas. I'll give you that journey. I'll say give you all that journey. So I actually started with a major franchise at 18. Prior to that, my friend's mom she managed the franchise and she used to let us girls come over after school. And because it was by our school, and she kind of, we knew what she did, but she kind of let us do different stuff around the office or whatever. And that was back then when it was paper taxes.
Yeah.
So she taught us forms, she taught us all that. Well, then when I turned 18, it was like, hey, you want to do this on the side? Yeah, sure. So I worked at a bank. I had got a really good job right out of high school. I worked at a bank. I was a teller. And then during tax season, I would do taxes. You couldn't tell me nothing. I had me some money. You couldn't tell me nothing.
18 doing taxes is a lick.
And working at a bank.
Yes.
So you couldn't tell me nothing.
You hitting a lick for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it just kind of started and I'm gonna say it spiraled from there because I fell in love with actual taxation. I fell in love with taxes, not just preparing taxes, but the law, the nerdy stuff, and so I just fell in love with that. And so I was with that franchise for 11 tax seasons. So that's 11 years. I was with them for, wait a minute, hold on. 11 total tax seasons, but not 11 years because there was, I think, the 1 or 2 tax seasons that life was life in, But then I kind of gave it up because life was life in, and I had really went through a lot and I had got a really good job. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to work full time. And then the kids came and I would still do taxes on the side. And so I'm very transparent when I say this. I was what they called a ghost preparer, but in a good way. So never in my life have I, frauded anybody or anything like that. But a ghost preparer is someone who does not use professional software. They usually do it like on TurboTax, and the person's return says self-prepared at the end. But I was a genuine person, meaning I would really, do the person's taxes the right way. Right. I wasn't charging them crazy. Some people I didn't even charge, so I still kept it, But I then switched over to the space that I'm in now of, really understanding that, hey, I could be just like the franchise that I was working for and I can make money. And so I ended up saying, let me just go and get professional software and I'll do it on the side. It was truly just going to be a side hustle. And that is not what happened. It just it really did blow up like overnight. And so when it blew up that tax season, I was like, wait a minute, like I can make my salary in less than 4 months and I'm still going to these people's jobs. But now I've been in the space fully and it has just been nothing but a blessing. But my business, kind of back to that, taxes has always been in the background. But my business, I would say, started off with resume writing. I wanted to help people get jobs. I was in a position at my job that I was a hiring manager. And so it was like, ooh, I know the nitty gritty. Now I want to tell these people what to do. And so I started with $10 resumes. And I was just doing people resumes for $10, making a couple extra $1,000 a month. And it blew up. And then I got scammed with my, when I signed up for credit repair. Mind you, I'm a single mama at this time.
Yeah.
So I signed up with a guy for credit repair. All these people recommended him. And I didn't know then what I know now about credit. And I gave him the last of my tax refund. It was $3,450 is what I had left. I'll never forget that. I gave that man $3,500 basically. Not only did he not do credit repair, but he also stole my identity. So he ended up getting a personal loan for about $15,000 in my name.
In your name?
In my name, yep. So of course that made my credit go up. And I'm thinking he's working, but dude had a whole loan in my name. So yeah, it was bad. And so I will never forget. I will never forget finding out like what was really going on. I remember where I lived. I was sitting on my bed and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, like he scammed me out of all this money. And I was just pissed. I was like, I'm about to learn this myself. And I'm about to, like, I wanted to take it. My main goal was to put him out of business, which I did. Because see, I'm from a very small town. So I said, hell, I'm going to learn it. Charge people not even like way less than that. I'm going to take all his clientele. And now I'm being transparent. Ain't really never told anybody this. So you hear it first. I literally stalked his social media to steal his clients. Like I was doing like some dirty marketing because I was DMing his people like, hey, I know he charging you, come over here. And I was stealing his clients. And it just really took off from there. I really fell in love with helping people and really showing them results. And I literally would get like a high off of when people would call and be like, I got approved for a car. Oh my gosh, I just was able to move in my house. And I was doing it in a way that, yes, I was stealing his clientele, but I was helping people. And so then I started growing and shifted my focus and started getting my own clientele, starting my own clients. But credit repair was kind of my thing for a while. And I still love credit, but not as much. But that's really what my business started as, was doing credit repair. Taxes was just like, I do it on site because it was seasonal, So, but I moved to Dallas in 2020 and I made my business official in 2021. Before then, I was just doing business. I was like, I don't need to do this. No, I became official when I moved here to Dallas. So.
Right. That's cool. I didn't know that she was out there stalking that man.
Oh, yes.
Do you regret it?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do not regret it. I would do it all over again. And I say I would do it all over again because him scamming me and me going through that, I feel like I kind of took one for the team. Every time I helped somebody, I was like, yep, they're not getting scammed. Yep. Because I was being unethical in the way that I took his clientele. Some people would say that I am, or I wasn't. But I felt like I was kind of like, I was healing through helping them because I was tore up about that.
Coming out there like Batman.
Yeah. And then I then decided not to press charges against him because I was going to. But then just as I started to grow and I found out what his story was and what he was going through and different stuff, God really kind of moved me to, I did enough damage, so for him, he really felt it. as far as me taking his clientele and the reputation that he got, he really felt it. And so I didn't press charges against him, but I was able to get everything removed, as far as I'll say the damage that he did do. And, but yeah, I mean, he still got me blocked. So.
Yeah, he still got you blocked.
That's okay.
Okay, so let's move on to Pop Your Ish, which is, something we're doing inside the Conquer Club. Where we just talk about the amazing things that we're doing. I was thinking about this last night about us having spaces where we're not just celebrated, but you can celebrate yourself on a whole nother level. Mm-hmm. Because, I just think it's important for us to do that. So, Ashley, Pop Your Ish. Tell us about something amazing that you've done in 2025.
In 20 already?
Yeah.
How many days we in?
24.
Oh, it's so much.
Come on, give it to us.
Okay. So there's a couple things that I just really myself over.
Come on.
So one of the big things, Deb, and we've talked about it, is I got in my digital products bag. When I say I got my digital products bag, I got my digital products bag. So, being in the tax industry, long story short, I found a need for tax professionals. So while I have a clientele, I found many needs that tax professionals have. Mm-hmm. And so one thing about me, I'm an educator by nature. I was truly supposed to be a teacher. And I know that.
I can see that.
Yeah, I was supposed to be a teacher. But God knows my patience level with teacher these days. I wouldn't be able to do it.
I couldn't do it. They couldn't pay me $500,000 a year to be a teacher. Never.
So I got in the space of really teaching at first. Mm-hmm. And so I had sold some classes, on different topics, to help tax professionals understand, Schedule C's and what does this form mean and how can you do this and that. And so it went really, really well. And so I ended up utilizing these people entering in free courses and very low paying courses to then it was like people are messaging me and they're like, hey, I don't have this, and this in my business. Can you help me? And in my mind, I'm like, I got that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm such a nerd, super organized. I'm so organized, it would drive somebody nuts. So it's like when you tell me you need an SOP, oh, I got that. And you say you needed the process, oh, I got that. I know I had it, and I just ran it up. So I literally created a store, online store. Started putting my products up there, and it took me a minute. I'll say though, it took me a minute to actually sell my very first product because I didn't want to be one of those people in the spaces of I have digital products and they're hundreds of dollars and people can't afford it. And so I had to shift my mindset because I had always been in the space of high ticket, low quantity. I don't know, or low volume, I think is what they say. Mm-hmm. So it was like, wait a minute, I know where I come from. I come from a higher quality. And so it was like, I can't do this. And so it took me a minute and I was like, no, just because they're paying low ticket doesn't mean that they still are not good quality, I'll say, customers.
Right.
And so I said, I'm going to go high volume, low ticket. And when I say low ticket, I mean, I had stuff as low as $2 and $3. And so people were like, you can't, that's low. That's low. But if you got hundreds of people purchasing, right, and then they're already there and they're purchasing other things, it worked out so well. And so on Black Friday, I ran my first sale. I gave a lot of stuff away for free, but I learned that I'm in a space of truly serving. And so me being able to give, I received more than anything, And so since Black Friday to date, I have made $21,000. It's like $21,600 since November, just on digital products. And so for me, that is really big because this is when I say it's easy, it's easy, but it's shifting my mindset because even after all these years of being in business, there's some money out there. Mm-hmm. It's already printed. Mm-hmm. You just got to go get it. Mm-hmm. You just got to go get it. Okay.
That's a fact.
So that was one big thing I'm super proud of myself about, definitely coming. So I know it's not 2025, but I brought it in 2025. but it has also given me another stream of income. It's given me it's unlocked another part of my brain. And so now I'm working on digital products for my tax clients, which is very, very much focused on my single mamas. And so I'm working on an ebook. I'm working on some cool digital planners. I'm working on some physical planners, like budgeting trackers, stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff I always say my mamas, that's what my mamas love. They love the ability to be able to plan and, okay, what are we doing? But I'm also incorporating some other things in there too, like a recipe book and simple stuff, that a lot of times it's like, oh my gosh, I just got off. It's 5:30. I ain't take no chicken out. The kids one is over here screaming. The other one has got into the closet and is eating raw cereal. And this, and so I'm trying to do things to lighten that load for the single mama, So yeah, that's one big thing that I'm super proud of myself. Another thing is that I really stepped out of my comfort zone and I accepted a position as a compliance manager for a major tax office. And so that's different because now I'm offering my services to another tax company. I don't work for that tax company, but they have said, hey, we need you to come in and we need you to critique our process. We need you to make sure things are right. And so I'm super excited because they're going to see this once they see the podcast, and it's okay because they don't know which office I'm coming to, but I'm doing a surprise audit. So I'm going to pop up on them in February and actually audit their office, which is a good thing because if I come in as a second pair of eyes as a compliance manager and I'm auditing that office, if the IRS was ever to do that, they top notch, T's crossed, I's dotted. So
which is what we want.
Right. So I'm super excited about that. What's something else I can pop my ish about? I have a workshop coming up.
Yes.
Super excited about my workshop coming up. That's in February. And so I'm going to be teaching mamas how to reinvest their tax refund.
I love that.
Most single mothers that are filing head of household status have 2 to 3 kids, and they get a good chunk of money at the beginning of the year. And there's a very high percentage of mothers, single Black mothers, I want to be very specific, single Black mothers that take that refund and they blow it and it's gone within 3 weeks. And I want to show them exactly how you can take that good chunk of money, you can allocate it to different areas, and now you're reaping the harvest all year, not just in February when you get your refund.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be very much like a workshop style, very informal. We're going to do a lot of hands-on stuff. They're going to leave there with some really good goodies. It is virtual. I'm going to move towards doing in person, but it's virtual because I still got a lot of people in my hometown and stuff that want to come, but I plan on mailing them physical products as well. So I'm super excited about that because when I do my workshops, my classes, I dive in. I love it. So
I love that.
Okay, I think that's it.
Where did this word? How you seem very rooted, planning, doing all of the things. Where does that come from?
I think that comes from trauma. I think it comes from growing up in constant chaos. And so my norm used to always be chaos and being in a space of, I'm going to figure it out. Don't worry about it. I got it. I'm going to figure it out. And I definitely made a vow to myself, to me, when I was a single mom, I was divorced and I was having to figure a lot of stuff out. And I said, man, when I get my money right, I'm moving out of that space of just figuring it out. And so I don't want to be the strong Black woman anymore. I don't want to be the survivor. I don't want to be the risk taker. I don't want to be, when I say risk taker, I mean it in the sense of having to figure it all out. That is not a space that I operate in anymore. I want to be organized. I want to be planned. If I got to figure it out, it's simple stuff. Meaning I forgot to take hamburger out. We supposed to have meatloaf tonight. I got to figure out what's for dinner.
Yeah.
Versus the lights are about to get cut off at 5 p.m. and I don't have $470. I got to figure it out because then I'm operating in a mode of desperation.
Absolutely.
I'm tired of being desperate.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that is what, even when I talk to my audience, you were not born to be a strong Black woman. And I will stand 10 toes down on any platform and say that. Why do we have to be the strong Black woman? I ain't never in my life, I'm going to say it, I've never in my life heard a white woman stand on a platform and say, I'm a strong white woman.
As a badge of honor.
As if it's like, I got my trophy. Never. And that's not to say,
Right.
not to sound like I'm, picking, or I've just never seen it. I've never seen someone stand up so proud to be so battered, so bruised, so broken, so scarred. And it's like, I don't want to operate in that space anymore. I want to be in a space where I don't have to be the strongest one. I don't got to be the smartest one. I don't got to figure it out. I want to come and show up to the table where I have planned that. It is organized. I've already figured it out for 3 weeks ahead of time.
Come on, baby. Come on.
And I ain't talking about just content.
Right.
I'm talking about
the business as a whole.
As a whole.
Yes.
I want it to be where things are planned out,
right,
to where I'm not stressing. If I want to figure out something, I want it to be the simple things.
Right.
I got a hole in my dress. I'm about to go speak on stage. I got to improvise.
Right.
I don't want to have to figure out the major things.
Right.
So I just really vowed to myself that I was going to stop stressing over that kind of stuff. And so I tell my kids, they already know. My kids, my partners, if it's not on my calendar, it probably ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Absolutely.
And I love that for me.
No, for real. So at home, are you taking on more of the traditional things, more cooking, more cleaning? How is that for you? Because it's busy tax season too.
It is. And so now I'm in a space of seeing like how my children navigate and how my husband navigates and what our schedule is like. And no, I'm not. Okay. I'm not taking on more, but I am very proud of myself for preparing better. So for instance, my children are at school during the day. So tonight might look like a crock pot meal. So that means I have to be very intentional, set the reminder, okay, I need to take out the chicken and get it going so that when my kiddos walk in the door, I can get them situated, dinner's already done, that type of thing. And I can hit the ground running, because a lot of my time working is in the evening time. So I got to get them settled, the cooking, the cleaning, I've kind of really put a lot of more responsibilities on them. They're 10 and 8. I haven't cleaned my kitchen in a month. And the reason is because now they do it.
Right.
And I love it. And I was like nervous to make them, clean the kitchen and do this. And I really had to like take a deep breath. Like, if a glass gets broke, it's okay. If they don't clean it good enough, I just need to teach them, and my husband is all for teaching our children how to be independent.
Absolutely. The sons and the daughters.
Oh yes. Junior.
Jesus.
Woo, my people see little Junior. They see little Junior. Junior has a mind of his own. He's 8 years old. He thinks he's 40.
Yeah.
But Junior, I love that he, something that my husband is very big on is like the cooking, the cleaning, all of those duties are yours as well. And I love it because my husband is such an old soul, and he, he'll say little things to him. And it's like, I just be laughing because I'm like, you really teaching him how to be a husband, And so Junior's 8 and he's little, he's tiny for his age, but, he already, if he sees the trash, Mommy, I'll take the trash out.
I love that.
I love it. But for me as a mama, it'd be so sad because the bag is bigger than him. So it's like, he be trying to carry it and, he'll have it over his shoulder. And I just be like, let me help my baby, but it works out really good, So him and his sister, they fight over the dishes and stuff, but I definitely, me and my husband both, we really push into them to be independent. My husband sees it from the standpoint of when they grow up, they'll be able to do it on their own. I see it from the standpoint of it's giving me a break.
Yeah.
It's helping me. So when you're able to wash your own dishes, you're able to bring your laundry down. Those things really are helpful to me because I'm the mama that wants to have all that stuff done. I am a tad bit OCD when it comes to my
tad bit OCD. Yeah.
Real bad.
What do you think about claiming identity? Because a lot of us, business owners, partners, children, what do you think about claiming identity like outside of that?
I think it's very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
I am in a space right now, fully transparent, that I'm still working on finding that identity, or like kind of not even getting back to the things that I used to do. A lot of people say that, like, I want to get back to how I used to be. I don't want to get back to how I used to
Maybe
be.
rediscover.
I want to rediscover those
Yeah.
things. I want to be able to have a space outside of my children, outside of my husband, outside of all of those things. And I'm getting better. So I can't sit here and say, Deb, I got it down. No, that is a struggle. That is a struggle, because when the kids go to bed and the husband goes to bed and the business is good, who am I? Who am I? Am I, someone who's outside? Am I somebody who's inside?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that is still a struggle for me as I navigate. It's like when I find the time for me, what do I like to do?
Yeah.
What is it? What do I have the energy for?
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy. We were talking about this because me and one of my good friends was talking about this the other day, and I'm all about balance. And her children are the same age as mine, and she has a tax office as well. And she said, Ashley, I prioritize myself first. And she was like, I see moms like you. And I'm like, man, like, am I harsh? Our children are the same age, but the balance that I have in a friendship with her, it's like when I hear her talk to her children, it reminds me, let me get my kids to get on their job and I ain't got to do it. And then she said, when she hears me, it's like, let me go and love on them a little bit, because today I was a little harsh,
I was more rigid.
More rigid, and so it's a good balance. But we talked about that, and we talked about not losing ourselves.
That's such
not losing ourselves, and being a wife and being a mom, being a friend, being a sister, being a daughter, because listen, the parents too, that'd be a role that you play. Being a daughter, all of that. So I definitely feel like as a woman, not saying men don't go through things, but I just feel like as a woman, it is a fight to get that.
It is.
And I don't think that's fair.
I have talked to hundreds of women, and that is something that I continuously hear us unlock about how we find identity in the relationships that we have with people. Because I know, like, for me, it feels good to be a good wife, a good friend, a good mentor, a good whatever. But like you said, my therapist asked me like this. She was like, okay, so Conquer is great, is thriving, hubby, y'all doing y'all thing, whatever. Outside of that, who are you?
Who are you? Yeah.
And this has stuck with me so much. That's why I'm a big proponent of hobbies. Having some friends, not clubbing, but just having friends. So what's like on your bucket list to kind of unlock your identity and stuff this year, or explore it more,
So I really want to travel more.
Okay.
So
like by yourself?
That is 2026. That's 2026.
Have you traveled by yourself before?
So I've traveled by myself when I've like gone home to visit, North Carolina to visit.
Okay.
Or, out, like, okay, I'm gonna go here today,
but not like a set
vacation. But not like, oh no, like, one of my friends went to Dubai by herself.
Oh yes,
like completely by herself. And every time like she talks about it, I'm like, by yourself,
would you do it?
Absolutely would do it.
Yeah,
absolutely would do it. Just because I come from, and not to discredit the amazing women in my life, but I come from two women who are amazing, but they had a lot of fear. And so my mother and my grandmother would have never traveled by themselves. When I say never, I mean after they became a wife and had kids.
Right.
Prior, when my grandma used to tell me stories, like, girl, you was outside.
Yeah. My grandma too. I forgot.
You was outside.
Like when I was born, you was out here.
You was outside, but then becoming a wife and a mother, it was this thing of like, you put your kids first, you put your husband first,
right,
and all of those other things, die down. So I don't see them as being on a bucket list per se, but I more so see them as like, this is something that I have to do. You know what I mean? Because that's going to be good for me.
Yeah.
And the kids are going to be just fine. The husband's going to be fine. The business is just going to be fine. But yeah, big thing is I want to travel more. So I have some trips planned with some awesome friends that I've really just built great bonds with this year. I think too is really just taking the time out, the little things, and that I kind of overlook. So really, when my husband says, "Babe, I'm home and I got the kids, go do your thing," taking those opportunities, because usually I'm kind of like, "I'm okay," and I'll go to work, or I'll try to, and it's like, no, like I really want to take
that as an opportunity to fly at the house, even if you don't,
and just go somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go eat by myself.
Right.
Go explore somewhere that I wanted to go. And being in Dallas is amazing because there's so much stuff. Oh gosh, there's so much. So I definitely want to start taking him up on those opportunities. So.
Yeah. I remember when you talk about living in Dallas, it's 2025. In 2023, I feel like I was in a really bad depressive rut. And I went to the Dallas Arboretum, like the botanical garden by myself.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh.
Well, the tulip season is coming. I think it's like the end of February into March. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. But I already said I put it on my planner because I said I was gonna go and just walk around. Yeah. That's stuff I like.
I love stuff like that too.
Yeah.
And I gotta go to the Dallas Museum of Art because it's free.
Oh yeah.
And they have different just exploring.
Yeah. And just I think taking time, those places like that, I feel like give your brain time to rest.
Yes.
And just kind of because you're present and you're in the moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you have a business, you have all these roles, there's always something going in your mind about each one of them.
Yes. Something that can be better.
Something can be better.
Efficient.
Something I need to do. Right. So I feel like when you take time to, even if it's just walk around a store, go and visit a museum or something, it's like your brain slows down and I feel like you're able to receive a lot. And I know, like, for me, a big thing too is my faith. So I really like those moments when it's quiet because I feel like that's where I'm able to strengthen my relationship with God. So I'm able to pray. I'm very, very, very intentional about my prayer life. And so that is something that when I say that's a priority, I feel like now that I'm even speaking it out loud, that's a lot of my self-care too, because I don't care what them kids is doing. I don't care what the house, the kitchen could be on fire.
Yeah.
If I need to pray, I need to pray.
Yeah.
I got to go. And I have a space, in my bedroom that I sit and I'm quiet and I pray. And so that's something really good too. And I didn't think about it until now, speaking that out loud. But I'm one of those people where if it's on my heart, or I feel like I hear something or I think of somebody, I am definitely one of the people like, be right back. Gotta pray. Yeah. Like that's me. And so that really, I feel like those moments too help slow my brain down. And I'm able to talk to God. And so that's something that's really something that keeps me going too, is my relationship with God. Oh yeah.
Okay, let's do a round of Conquer Cocktails.
Okay.
Which is a game that I created at my Conquering Cocktails networking events. I love talking about, Ashley know me. Y'all know me. I love talking about business. I love talking about women. I love talking about life. I can talk about it all day, every day. But I do love a little tea. I do love a little nice little girl talk. So I created this game, Conquer Cocktails, where it's almost like Truth or Dare, where you can pick from either Conquer or Cocktails. Conquer is going to be questions about business, maybe about some wisdom that you have about your business experience. Cocktails is going to be more about life experience being a woman, dating, relationships, and things like that.
Oh,
you down?
I'm down.
Okay. All right, Ashley. So Conquer or Cocktails?
Cocktails. Let's go ahead and rip the band.
What makes a guy instantly unattractive?
Oh, like for me?
Husband, we just talking hypothetically.
No. This is the crazy thing is that, so for me, I am super big on a man's hygiene.
Okay.
And that is one of the things I adore about my husband. So I love that, like, I could walk in the bathroom or by the bathroom and he's in there washing his face or he's putting oil in his beard. I'm just
Shout out to
super
a man that got products
yes.
for different parts of their body.
Listen, the beard oil.
Yes.
So hygiene is a big, especially, let me say it like this though, if you can help it.
Mhm.
Because you do have individuals, disabilities and different stuff. That's different.
Mhm.
But like as far as like you are able-bodied,
Come on, able body.
it's got to be you. Yes. So I love a good smelling man. And
Yeah.
so, clean and fresh. And that's really, really big for me.
I love
Yes.
that.
Yes. Let me think of another thing. Instantly unattractive. I think it's a like arrogance for me.
Okay.
I reference my husband because my husband is truly like my definition of my dream guy.
Yeah.
He is. He ain't perfect and I ain't perfect, but that's my guy.
Yeah.
So but like there is like I don't know what it is. Like it's like I met multiple men like that. It's almost kind of like you're a woman. You don't know what you're talking about. Like a kind of arrogance like that irritates me to my soul because you really are a nice guy. You don't have to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So arrogance on a man to me is so unattractive. Confidence on a man is so attractive. Oh, sexy.
So sexy.
Like, and again, I say my husband.
Yeah.
Oh,
you better take care of yourself and have your own life. I love it.
But the arrogance on a man is so unattractive. And so I've been in conversations with men where it's just like, ugh, baby, you got mama issues.
And you look good, but the way you talk is just
like you're handsome, but the way you speak to women is so, demeaning and mean and nasty. And, like we owe you something. That's very unattractive.
Very unattractive.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here for that. Okay. Conquer or cocktail?
Okay. Let's do a conquer.
Okay.
Oh, I like this game.
Are you happy with your life?
Being transparent. I love to be open and honest. I'm not happy yet.
Okay.
I am content, but I'm not happy yet. And I feel like I say that and I'm sure on that because I feel like I haven't unlocked the level of happiness that God has for me. And I think a lot of that has to do with because I haven't really found my full true self yet.
Okay.
I feel like that's a work in progress. I'm content, but there are things that I know would make me happy that have nothing to do with money.
Mm-hmm.
Has nothing to do with success. It has everything to do with healing relationships for me. It has everything to do with healing from my past. That's what happiness looks like for me. So I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it. So am I happy in my life right now? No, but I know it's coming. Mm-hmm. I know it's coming. So
what are some of the things that you're looking at to kind of get there? Because that's a process.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's definitely a process. So I really truly want to heal when it comes to, or just I could say repair my relationship with my parents. That's really, really big for me. Ooh. So I'm super, super close with my mom, and me and her have really, we're in such a good space now, but healing with her and my biological father, because there's a lot of unhealthy trends. There's a lot of unhealthy patterns, especially with me and my biological father. So for me, like a level of like happiness would be me and him actually being able to have a sit down and a talk and, working, grooving through that. And I will say another big thing for me is grief. So I lost my grandmother in September of 2023. I'm the product of a teen pregnancy. So anybody who is born to a young mother more than likely has another woman in their life, or maybe their father who has kind of like taken over. Right. My mama was a baby when she had me. And so my grandmother was my mama too. And my mama is very understanding of that. There was never any bitterness or anything. My mama knew that. So when I lost my grandmother, I felt like my mama died. Yeah. And then now I'm functioning in a space where I'm scared my mama gonna die. And then what I'm gonna do? Because now both my people are gone. And so that for me, being able to navigate through grief and be on the other side of it that is like a level of happiness I'm ready to unlock, because I'm still on the rough side right now. I haven't gotten to the other side. But I say that almost smiling even those things, because I'm so optimistic on where God has taken me that I know that I'll get to the other side. It's just I'm not there yet, and that's okay. So those are some big things. But then I would say the last thing, just thinking about it, like just again getting to know me. What do I like? What do I want to do? What are things that I'm passionate about that don't have to do with serving somebody else, but serving myself?
Right.
So that's a big thing too. I feel like once I kind of navigate through those things, I feel like that's where like I'll start to unlock that true happiness and that feeling of true peace, I'll say.
Yeah. That's good. I think it's so that identity outside of everything else is a core message that I feel like we can teach young women our age, women older than us, because of our nature, the way we are made from our DNA, we take pleasure in serving, giving, nurturing. Which is why most of the women that we encounter, they have some type of business where they help other women do XYZ.
And we're service-based. The majority of us as women of color, it is service-based.
Yep.
And that's not to, put a wedge in between, culturally, but if you look at the statistics, the majority of the physical products that we use, the majority of the physical things, most of those companies are not women of color.
Right.
The majority of service-based businesses are women of color. And we are trying to empower, inspire, any of those, encourage. If it's got an "in" in front of it, then we are in service to somebody else. The majority of our businesses, that's what they're based off.
And why do you think that is?
Because I think that because we have been culturally conditioned to being so strong that we literally are. I think that we operate in such a space of desperation that it's like, well, hell, I can't get out the hole, so let me show you how to get out the hole so that I can live through you. That is truly what I feel. I do it every day. I do it every day when I literally am helping other women come from my place of pain. That is like fulfilling to me, to see another woman who was in the space that I was in. Now I'm able to show her how to get to the bag. Now I'm able to show her how not to be frustrated, or, hey girl, try it this way. So I think that it just comes from, because we are culturally conditioned as a culture. We are the strong Black woman, and let's, put that. It's
a badge of honor.
And it's like, boom, that's who we are. That is not who we are. That's not who I am. I want to be celebrated for my accomplishments, but I don't want to be celebrated for my accomplishments after I just went through hell.
Right.
That's not what I want.
Right.
Because more than likely the hell that was given to me wasn't mine anyway. So why do I got to stand up? I done been to war, and now I got to be a hero off of something that ain't had nothing to do with me.
And you know what we also do? We have like a struggle Olympics. You went through that. Oh, girl, hold your beer. Listen,
let me tell you what
my ex-husband put me through.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but that's
it's not good that we sitting here, telling our war stories like two veterans.
Like two veterans in the weight room at the VA.
Yeah. Like let me tell you about my leg got cut off.
Not for real. Yeah. Oh, your leg, my leg and my arm. Both my arms got blown off.
And we're telling our war stories, and it's like we're getting fulfilled from that. That's really not a healthy space to operate in. It's really, really not. And again, I go back to it. When have you ever seen a white woman, or a woman not of color, I'll say not of color, stand up and say that she's a strong white woman? I mean, to me, it's so bad that we literally made it appropriate for a Black woman to stand up and say that, because if a white woman did it, we'd be ready to. If you don't get Karen out of here, we'd be ready to fight.
Yeah.
We would be ready to fight.
But if we did it on stage, they would clap.
if we've done it on stage.
Yeah.
We've done it on stage. Look at the very women that stand up at the Grammys, stand up at these award shows and stuff like that. Most of the time when they're doing their speech, it's got something to do with them surviving and overcoming and da 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 da. And it's just like, is that the narrative that we want to have?
Yeah.
I don't want my baby to grow up as a woman of color thinking she got to go through some mess in order for her to be honored.
Right.
No, I don't want that.
Born worthy.
She's born worthy. Yeah.
Um,
Don't be trying to pick one that's not. I don't mind. I am me. I tell the truth.
Oh.
What's the thing? I might tell you a story, but I won't tell you no lie.
Not so many of them out here. Okay.
Don't get on here and embarrass me, dear.
When was the last time you cried?
Oh my gosh, today. Girl, I'm a crybaby.
I'm a crybaby too.
Oh my gosh, I'm a crybaby.
I'm such a crybaby.
So, and that's what I said, just being transparent. I cried today, not really bad tears, but yesterday I had a day. So yesterday I had what I tell people is I had a grief day. So one small thing triggered me, and all I could just think of was like, my person is gone from this earth. And so I started to cry. And it did not stop. And I cried all day yesterday and went to my doctor's appointment, crying at the doctor's appointment, came home, put my pajamas on, and cried the whole day. My husband came home, cried on him, kids came home. I mean, I cried all day, head hurt, cried. And so today when I got up, I was like, okay, today's a new day. I'll be fine. Well, then when I was talking to my friend, we kind of were talking about, just self-care. Ash, you got to get out the house, make it, the ladies that I surround myself with, I have to have women around me that tell me about myself because I am a very dominant woman.
Same for me.
So when I walk in the room, you will know I'm there, whether you like me or not. And not in a cocky way, but I say that as in, I'm really one of those people, you meet people and you're like, dang, you can't tell her nothing. A lot of times people think I'm unapproachable, which I really am, but I have to have women that are not afraid to tell me about myself. And so this morning when my friends FaceTime me and they saw me, it was like they saw my puffy eyes, what's wrong with you? And then they literally like got on me. Ash, you got them kids are fine, the husband's fine, go take you a day, go do this, And so I cried because one of my friends was speaking about her situation and how, I know she's come from the space that I'm in. And she's like, Ash, I got 6 kids, I get it, and we were just talking about different things, but crying for me is such a release.
Yeah.
So I cry a lot by myself. I cry probably more by myself. But one thing I'm really, really big on, I cry in front of my children. My mama never cried.
That's so important. A lot of us can say that we've seen our parents cry.
My mama did not cry in front of us. And so her not crying in front of us as a single woman, let me back it up even further. A teen mama. She had 3 kids by the time she was 20, but she had been pregnant by the time she was 20, like 5, 6 times. She was in an abusive marriage with my biological father and dealt with just life and everything. I never saw my mama cry. So for me, what it did was it molded me to be this hardcore woman that was, you don't cry. And when you go through something, you stick it out, you figure it out, you tough it out, and it made me very hard. So then when I got older and now she breaking down, I'm like, what's she doing crying? We don't do that around here, and then
really been tore up the whole time.
And so for me, my children see me cry.
I like it.
I need them to see me as human. I need that little girl to see me as human.
Yeah.
And I am very big on expressing yourself. So I'm the type of crier where you got to let me cry and let me be.
Me too.
Give me a couple minutes. Let me cry. And then I'm gonna come talk to you. I can't really like cry and talk through my
me neither, because I
got boogers, I got hair hurt. Yeah. So I gotta cry it out. But for me, crying is a release. I feel like it's important. I usually, because I'm so in tune with especially other people. I cry on the drop of a dime. Like I can hug somebody and be like, "Oh my gosh, I know they're going through this, and this." I'll be ready to cry.
Yeah.
So I cry daily,
Yeah.
but it's not a bad thing.
I'm a crybaby too.
Yes. And let me tell you another thing. This is TMI. So yes, I am on an antidepressant. Okay.
Yeah.
I got back on an I say back because I was on an antidepressant right after I had my son. I had terrible postpartum.
Mhm.
And then I weaned myself off because I was like, I don't want to be, on a pill. And so I started back after my grandmother passed. And I'm kind of smiling because I needed to cry, and the medicine won't let you cry. And so I called my doctor and I was like, you got to do something because I'm crying all up in here and ain't no tears coming out. Something is wrong. Well, I was on a very high dose. And so, I had to back. I said, listen, I need this to help me, but I got to back it down to where I can still cry.
Right.
Because I'm over here looking at my mama crying and people crying. I'm just sitting here like, Lord, I'm crying on the inside, y'all. Like I'm crying, but
ain't nothing
coming out. So I had to back down. But for me, crying is definitely a good thing for me. Once I get it out, I feel a lot better. I cried last night just in my husband's arms, just crying, and it was like, oh, I feel better.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I cry every day.
I feel that. I feel like for me, I always say crying is just words that my mouth can't really express right now.
There you go.
It's just words from my heart that I can't express, good or bad.
And I always feel like crying for me is communication to God. Because I feel like with every tear that comes down or whatever, I'm like, I can't express it, but God hears it.
Right.
So God hears it. He already knows what I'm crying about. He about to make it better.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm a big crybaby.
I'm a crybaby too, so bad.
And I encourage women of color to cry it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I really do. Women as a whole, to cry it out because we won't cry about it. We'll hold it in. And then I feel like that's when it comes out as anger.
Yeah.
And bitterness.
Did I tell you to go in there because I'm stressed out because hey, I ain't mad at you, but
I'm overstimulated.
Yeah.
I don't feel good. This is going on. And instead of me just taking a moment to just cry, now I've snapped at the kids. I might have, reacted, the hubby, the friends, anybody but then another thing, because, I'll be paying attention to society. Then society comes in and they say, she's just an angry Black woman. No, I'm overstimulated. Yeah. My brain is going 45,000 miles a minute. I got crying kids. And if I ain't got no kids, then I got a husband, I got a business, I have a job, I have the stigma of all this on me.
Yeah.
I'm not angry.
Right.
I'm overstimulated.
Right.
And, that's another thing that I think that like we carry is this strong Black woman. Most of us are not strong.
Right. That's right.
Overstimulated.
I'm talking about, I'm so tender on the inside, don't make no sense.
The hardest Black woman that I can promise y'all, she just as tender. Yes, like just as soft on the inside. It's just we have to we're always told we have tough skin and thick skin and look up the history of that. Again, I'm a big reader. Look up the history on why they say Black women have tough skin, thick skin. It will make your stomach turn. Yeah, we're human. It hurts our feelings when you do stuff. It upsets us, but we come across angry because we've never been able to express ourselves in that way. But the word overstimulated, when you think about it, it truly means we got a lot going on.
Yeah.
And it comes out as anger, but that's not really what it is. We've never been able to have a safe space to express ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm really big on. We're not angry. We are overstimulated.
And something else I experience is, I know like for me, if I tell somebody I'm struggling, they remind me of how amazing I am. You
got this, girl. You got this. No, I don't. Pick them kids up. Do something with them. Come over here and help me do the dishes. I posted something on social media because, again, I am very transparent. I have a partner and a spouse. A lot of times people think because you have a husband that he just fixes everything. Mm-hmm. No, he's a person too. Right. I'm still overstimulated.
Right.
But I posted something and it was a little cartoon of a girl crying with bags under her eyes. And it said, the village is not coming.
Mm-hmm.
And people commented underneath it, "You got this, girl," messaging me, "You are strong. You've been through so much." And I have one friend, she texted me and she said, "What is it that you need that I can do for you right now in this moment?" Okay? Stop telling us that we got it because we done been through so much. Stop telling us that because, you done seen us go through some mess that you like, well, yeah, she's overcome, but I'm not overcoming right now. Right now, I'm ready to strangle everybody and go down to the hospital and be like, check me in. Like, I am not okay.
Yes.
And so that is a big thing, Deb. I'm so
I
glad you said that.
experienced that so much because people look at me and they see Facebook Deb.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see me as a person.
Yeah.
And if I can say something right now about, but they're like, "Oh, but you're doing so good, and you got those events," projecting everything that they see about my life that they don't have. "Oh, but you have a husband and you have this house and you do all of." Yeah, but
let me also speak on something that I hate to see people do. I hate when people tell people, "But you don't have no kids."
oh God, yeah,
It drives me nuts because I have kids.
Yeah.
And even before I had kids, I'm still a person.
yeah,
Life still was life and prior to having kids. Now I just got 2 additional people in my house.
Mhm.
But it does not lessen what you are going through because you do not have children yet. That drives me nuts. I have a good friend who does not have kids, and I feel so bad because sometimes people remind them that, well, you don't have kids, so you don't know what this is like.
yeah.
That's bullcrap.
Mhm.
You know what it's like to be overstimulated. You don't feel good. The pressure of the world, it's all the same. The only difference is there's 2 other little people here. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that the person with no kids has got it easier.
Right.
No, they don't. You don't know what they're battling inside.
Correct.
I have 2 children, but somebody else with no kids could be battling depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts. They could be dealing with their mother, health issues. They're all like, it's so much. And so I had to bring that up because there is a stigma, I think, about us wives and mothers, that we feel like people with no kids got it easier.
Yeah.
No, we in this together. We
Right.
overstimulated together.
Absolutely.
We struggling together. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it drives me nuts when people say that.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
We're gonna have to do another episode because when you talk about the whole parent wounds,
Mm-hmm.
that is something that resonates so deeply
Mm-hmm.
with me. And I feel like a lot of women can relate to that. Mother's Day and Father's Day, I can't be online.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take it.
Yeah.
I can't take seeing the girls with their moms. I can't take seeing the girls with I'm not there yet.
Mm-hmm. And I think I will say this. I think that truly, truly comes, like I was saying about the level of happiness. I think that comes through healing.
Yeah.
But I also will say, social media is not a real place. That's a whole nother.
That's a fact. True. Right.
Because I'm going to be very transparent again. Y'all going to see me get online and you're going to see me post about my mama because that's my girl. Mm-hmm. And I love her. Right. But what you don't see is the years of the trauma. You don't see the toxic behavior. You don't see that she was my very first voice for self-confidence. You don't see her mental health issues that she put on her child. And so all around, it's like, you haven't made it there. Like you're saying, I ain't made it there yet.
Right.
And I want to say, don't even try to get there, because I can post that all day, or you see your friends post that and they out with their mamas, but you don't see the dark side of it. Right. So I think there's a dark side either way.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what you've been through, and then you got the person who got the mama in their life or the daddy, mm-hmm. and there's the trauma there. Right. And there's the real deep-rooted abuse, or
that's codependence.
The codependence.
The mamas who don't have no life, and the daughters, the emotional support system.
The daughter.
Yeah.
Or now mama is a good grandma,
Yeah.
but she was a crappy mama.
Yeah.
And we praising her because she was a good grandma, but she really was abusive and toxic and all of that. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
And so I think there's a dark side on both.
Mhm.
And I think that, social media definitely can put a lot of pressure on us that you got to be there.
Right.
You ain't got to be there ever.
Right.
Deb. You
Thank
don't
you.
ever got to be there.
Yeah.
If that's not a space that you want to be in, you ain't got to be there.
Mhm.
I think for me, I feel obligated because, girl, if I don't, it's going to be World War III. You ain't putting nothing up there about me on Mother's Day. You know what I mean? There's like that expectation. But
Mhm.
no, that's a space that you don't have to be there. And that's okay. That
Mhm.
doesn't validate you because now, hey, I told the world that I'm
Right.
cool with my mama and daddy.
Means
No,
nothing.
it means nothing. If it here, it ain't
Unless
right.
y'all truly.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
that's an experience you want to share, great. But like when you said I'm not there yet, you could just say I'm not there.
Yeah.
Girl, leave the yet off.
I'm not there. I ain't there. That's so good.
Mm-mm.
That's real. That's some real stuff.
Yeah.
People follow us and people don't treat me like I'm human.
They don't, and I'm gonna say they don't because it's me too. I think people see social media and they see the followers and they see how we interact, and they don't see like a lot of times we show up on social media to avoid what we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
I know I do.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all see me show up on social media, usually it's because I have to put my brain somewhere else for a little bit before I can go take care of what I need to take care of. Now, don't get me wrong. I show up for my audience because I know that they want to see me. They want to talk to me. They want to interact like this. But I'm human too. How many people scroll out of desperation? So there's times I find myself scrolling because I'm like, oh, I know I got to go in there and do the laundry. I'm tired
I
right
need
now.
some type of dopamine hit.
Yeah, let me just see what somebody else got going on. Oh, okay, so-and-so got a new dog. All right, girl. You know? Oh, okay, she's still fighting with her baby daddy. Who I
Never
feel
took
better.
it for Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never took it for Joe, baby. No, blocked.
We're living that in 2024.
Yeah, that got left in 2024. Definitely.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. This was good.
Yes, very good.
What's your advice for women who are listening to you and saying, hey, I want to get my confidence there. I want to get my consistency there. What's your advice for women to be able to conquer that?
To run your own race. So there is no true competition.
Right.
There really isn't. It's an illusion. Competition is an illusion. The only time I feel like competition is real is when you can measure it.
Right.
And what I mean by that is if me and you are having a challenge we're doing. Maybe we're trying to see just to use an analogy, we're trying to see how much water you can drink in a week, how much water I can drink in a week. We can have tangible results, because you got all your empty water bottles lined up and so do I. There's results there. If you really think about competition when it comes to two business owners, there's never results that we can compare because we're so different. We could be doing the same thing. Deb, you have a tax office and I have a tax office, and we literally are right side by side in a storefront. Deb, you could do 1,000 returns and I could do 1,000 returns. But our results are going to be different because of the space that we're in. So when I say run your own race, when I say I'm a girl's girl, I'm a girl's girl. And I love that for me.
Yeah.
And I love that for the women that I encounter because we can do the same thing. I have a group of 5 ladies that I do the same thing. We do the same thing. And we gonna get on that phone and we gonna talk some junk. Girl, how many returns you did today? Get your butt in that office. But it's never competition.
Right.
It's never competition because I offer something that you might not, and vice versa. And we literally use it to fuel each other. And so I really tell people, I don't care what industry you're in, run your own race. The only person you should be in competition with is who you were yesterday.
Right.
I'm very, very big on that. I really, truly, as harsh as this sounds, but it's the Aquarius in me because we cold-hearted. I don't care what other people got going on. When I say I don't care, I mean it like I don't care if the next person is running. I'm trying to be like you. Well, I'm not trying to be like you. I'm trying to be better. I cried all day yesterday. So my goal today is be productive because I had no income producing activities yesterday. So today I'm trying to make some money. Okay. I got to make up for yesterday. So run your own race and give yourself grace because when you realize that you're not in competition with anybody and you're just here, you get in your own head. And I feel like you kind of create these unrealistic expectations. And it's like, just give yourself some grace.
Mhm.
You know, you're a human being, not a human doing. And there's a big difference. Doing is doing. You don't all the time got to do anything. Sometimes you just
You
need
can
to
just
be.
be.
You just need to be. If today is a rough day and you need to sit your butt down and maybe you can't do the follow up and maybe you can't, that is okay.
Right.
I'd rather be honest with my clients. I sent out a whole email. One of my clients, and I tell you this, one of my clients just was like over the moon about it. I broke my arm in September skating with my kids. Really put me down. Like, it's been crazy. I sent an email and told my people, I broke my arm skating with my kids. I'm not going to be able to get back with you like I'm used to. They loved it because I was honest with them. I was transparent with them. I'm not a robot, So giving yourself that grace. But when you talk about consistency that comes in, you still have to stay consistent. And you can do that through little things.
Right.
I broke my arm. So what did I do? I did a small task. I sent out an email, just letting people know what's going on. That was all I could do that day.
Correct.
Was do that email. I remember that day. One arm in it, typing. That's all I could do that day. But doing those little things, like we talked about the compound effect, doing those little things that build and build and build, they make a big, big impact. So as long as you're consistent with the small stuff, the big stuff will then, it snowballs and becomes, major. But I feel like when you run your own race, you give yourself grace and you're consistent, I feel like overall it gives you the confidence that you need to be an awesome business owner, no matter what business you are in. Because once you start doing those things, they also start operating on their own.
Right.
You ain't got to keep going back and checking in.
And you get the muscle memory for it.
There you go. So it's second nature to you.
Yeah.
And so that's where I feel like by then it's like, hey, I got this. I'm not worried about the unrealistic expectation because I'm giving myself grace today.
Right.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. I be having to tell myself, okay, Ash, you done had 4 days of grace.
You done had 4 days of grace, brother.
4 days of grace. Get your butt up.
That's me, girl. You gave yourself enough grace for you and 9 more people.
Right. So, but that is, again, where I feel like it all ties together. Again, I said, I'm a girl's girl. I got to have my network of people that come in and say, hey, get up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Get up today.
Yeah.
You gave yourself grace for 2 days. Get up again. And it gives you that, to get up and do it. So,
yeah, that's real. So you've been in the Conquer Club. We work together 101, of course. Amazing. If you're watching, you don't know. But Ash is in the Conquer Club with us. Y'all know we meet every Tuesday. You always hear me talk about the Conquer Club. What has been the biggest thing that you've gotten out of the Conquer Club that's helping you with this journey of identity, consistency, taking your business to the next level?
Conquer for me has been a breath of fresh air. That is my space that, like, I've conditioned my kids. Junior tried to come in and talk the other day, and Journey was like, she's at Conquer Club.
It was so funny.
She's at Conquer Club. Like, they know, because that is my time to, I feel like I can just be me. I show up with my hair pulled up. I feel like I can show up and be me. And then I get to talk about me, which I don't, but I get to talk about me a little more, which I don't every day, all day. And so that works good. But then I get to look at my girls and be like, go ahead, girl.
Because they be in there doing it.
Listen, when I tell you, when she tells us to pop our ish, oh my gosh.
Y'all don't let up.
We don't let up. And it ain't nothing little.
It ain't
it's always something big.
It's always something big.
Woo, it's always something big. But I just feel like that space for me has just been so again, it's like a breath of fresh air. I love when we do our Conquer, like our co-working hour,
Mhm.
2 hours, because I feel like I'm held accountable. And it's like, if I'm struggling somewhere, maybe it's content. We gonna get up there and be like, okay, okay, help me work through this. And I have a group of people who are there for me on the spot, giving me their ideas, different perspectives. And that is so major to me.
Mhm.
But there's some nights that I feel like I pour, but then there's some nights that I'm poured into. And that's the balance that I love.
Yep.
Is some nights I'm gonna give everything I got for an hour, but then I might come back next Tuesday and they ganging up on me, ready to pour into me, talking junk to me, telling me to get together.
Mhm.
And that's what I need. So Conquer for me is so many different things there that I've gotten out of Conquer. So I can't really pinpoint one thing. I can't. And I feel like in combination with one-on-one working with you, it's just, I don't know. That was the total package right there. Because I had my one-on-one with you working on specific things, but then I was able to be in a group setting. So I feel like it just really, really was good. There's more than one thing with Conquer.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes, I love it.
I love it. Then we did Conquering Cocktails too, so we got a chance to
that was
get
fun.
out.
And I feel like, you know what? For me, I feel like I got to see Deb. And
Yeah.
that really worked for me, because I will say I'm probably guilty of okay, this is Deb. And one thing I love when I always, because I talk about you, girl, I know your ears be burning, but I actually just said this morning when I was telling my friend, I was like, I got to get ready, go to the podcast. And I was like, her words were, I love Deb. And I said, the one thing about Deb, I said, who she is online is who she is offline.
Yeah.
And she's even better offline.
Oh, yeah. If you come to Conquering Cocktails, we getting into it.
We ended up across the street that night.
You telling me when we do Conquering Cocktails, we sit and it started off on. What type of business do you have? And next thing you know, it's like, girl,
the street.
We got to the bar across the street.
Across the street, eating fish. What else did I get? Eating fish and something else. That's all I know. But I love that you're a girl's girl. And I don't think people understand what a girl's girl is. Like, a girl's girl is like, to me, I always think of like grade school, that's your friend. And it's like, I'm going to look out for you, and I'm going to love you, and I'm going to talk junk to you, and I'm going to inspire you, and I'm going to think of you, and all of that. And I feel like we as a culture have moved away from the girl's girl, but I feel like we're coming back.
Yeah.
I love, like, the girl spaces and the networking and the co-working. I feel like Black women are making a comeback with saying it's okay for us to be friends.
Right.
It's okay for us to have an argument, not get along, disagree. We're going to talk about it and we're going to move on. Right. And I love that for us, because I feel like it's real big right now. Right. And especially in, like, as far as, businesses and stuff. Women are connecting because we're business owners, whether we do the same thing or not. And we're hanging out and we're going on trips. And I love that for us.
Me too.
I love that for us.
Me too.
We're gonna go on a trip.
We do have to do the Conquer retreat. Yeah. Yes, we have to.
Oh, that's a great idea.
We have to. Okay. It's been on my vision board for way too long. So
it's on the vision board.
It's been on the vision board for about 3 years.
No.
Yes.
2025.
You think we should?
I think later in the year
we should do a retreat.
Like in another country.
Oh, can y'all speak Spanish?
Conquer Club International.
Good.
Spanish.
Like if we go to Mexico,
we could go to like Bali or something.
We can't go to Bali.
We got a travel agent. We got a travel agent.
Y'all always force me to think big. Just when I'm impacting on this level, y'all be like, yeah, you're actually impacting up here. So we need you to act accordingly.
Yes.
Love it.
That's great. That's dope.
Tell people, how can they follow you? What do you have going on? How can they get connected, learn from you, all of that?
So I am on all social media platforms. I am taking over TikTok, and I love that. I cried when they was about to take it down. Right. Because I was like, I'm just now learning this thing.
Yeah.
I am very old school though. So social media for me, that's something that I'm definitely working on. But I'm on Facebook, business page, AR Financial Solutions. You can find me on my personal page, which is just Ashley Rogers. And then Instagram, AR Financial _Solutions. And then TikTok. I think TikTok is just AR Financial Solutions. But right now I'm focusing really heavy on this workshop that I got coming up. I'm super excited. It is tentatively going to be February 13th.
Okay.
I say tentatively because I know Valentine's and people take off, want to do stuff. So
yeah, we're gonna be on our back.
Oh, what?
For Valentine's Day.
Damn.
Maybe we'll log off for the workshop before the end.
So maybe I'll do it on 13th. So, no, I'm gonna do this workshop. I'm super excited about. But right now, I'm actually not in the thick of tax season. This is really like the beginning.
Yeah,
we do have some work that we do prior, but right now we're about to really ramp up. W-2s are coming out. I'm super excited about that. But tax season really, like, I get in it. When I say I get in it, I don't do too much. I'm getting better at that during tax season, but I'm definitely going to do a couple workshops because I'm going to do this one. I'm also going to do one for business owners as well. So those are like my time to really, I'll say, shine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also like offering in-season tax support for tax professionals. So I get to like jump on, help them when they need help. And so yeah, that's kind of like what I'm doing right now.
I love it. So the workshop on the 13th, is that for business owners for taxes?
It
or who
can
is that
be.
For?
It can be. Really, it's really geared towards single moms because
Okay.
I want to really show them how they can invest their tax refund.
Oh, I love
So
it.
sometimes
Perfect.
the
Okay.
single mama has a business as well. So it's kind of, it's kind of either or. I'll say jump in if you definitely feel like it would benefit you. One of the major things that I plan on doing, that I'm just going to say it. So I plan on retiring soon. And so I don't want to really say what I want to say, but I plan on retiring soon. And one of my big, big goals is I want to retire my husband. I really want to retire my husband. I want my husband to sit down. I want him to enjoy life. I watched something this morning, Shannon Sharp, his podcast that he did with, what is her name? Oh, I can't think of her name.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Cheryl Underwood.
And she was talking about retiring her husband. And it was so funny because she said he worked all those years to take care of her and the kids. And she was like, and now he be getting leaves at the pool. Like, that's what I want for my husband. You know what I mean? And I know he wants
get up and cut the grass and just not,
baby, walk around in the robe all day for all I care.
I'm here for that.
But that's a big thing for me. Is I want both of us to be young and retired. And when I say retired, I don't mean not be business owners. I mean it as in retiring from corporate America. I want us both to be in a space that, when we want to travel, we can travel. When we want to take a day off, we can take a day off, and somebody's not telling us that we can do that. So,
right.
Yeah, y'all start making a little bit of money, and you be realizing, like, yeah, the job can go. That's what I'm gonna say, clean version. But I say be strategic. I don't tell people to just go and, quit their job. There's things that I have to get aligned first before I can do that.
Yeah, but
health insurance, different stuff. So
stuff like that.
That's a big thing. But yeah, that's kind of just what I got going on now. So
yeah, I love that.
So if you need your taxes filed, definitely hit me up. Let me know. Especially, I'll say on Facebook. Facebook is like a really, really big for me as far as like communication. So just send me a DM. Let me know that you need help. Comment on, the podcast or whatever, and just let me know, and I'll help.
I love it. Well, ladies, we hope y'all enjoyed this talk about taxes and marriage and life. So if you enjoyed the podcast and you can resonate with anything we talked about tonight, comment, like, subscribe. Come join us inside the Conquer Club. The applications are open for 2025. You can go to jointheconquerclub.com. You got one of the members right here who's been in Conquer Club for a while. So you can see the type of conversations we have, the business strategy we talk about, and we just support each other and just doing life. So I will see y'all next week on Conquer Conversations. Ashley's information is down below, so you contact her. And I'll see you next time, ladies. Bye.